All right, everybody. Welcome back to week 11 of the Rhodes Show, episode 2. We got Big Brain Benny. We got Guy coming back at you. And we got records to date. Last week, winning week. Above 500 for the both of us. Big Brain Benny, myself, 3-2-1. Guy, 4-1-1. Guy, take it away.
Thanks for tuning in last week. If you tuned in, you made a lot of coin. We're going to try and make you some more money this week on another sleepy slate, but we're here. We're back. It's Wednesday night. Let's make some picks.
And like I said, it's week 11, and it wouldn't be week 11 without a special guest. And we have the specialist guest of them all, our favorite guest that we've ever had on this show. We have the Mr. Prop.
It's an honor and a privilege, gentlemen, being the very first guest on the Rhodes Show. A lot of weight on pressure, but I've been studying. I've been hitting the lines. It's been a solid year so far for me betting, especially in the prop game. So it's a little teaser for something to come for the people. I'm ready for it.
I love to hear that. I love Mr. Prop already being locked in to the prop of the day.
I knew he'd be locked in.
He had to be. He's Mr. Prop for a goddamn reason.
I got a reputation to maintain.
All right, let's kick it off to the games. And we have the game of the week. We have the Steelers +1 at the Browns, 1 p.m. kickoff. The over-under is maybe the lowest I've ever seen at 33. Guy, I'll let you take this one first.
You know me, I typically stay away from the over and under 33. I mean, I said this last week, taking it over when the Steelers are playing in a ball game, bad idea. I don't care if they're playing the Chiefs, the Eagles, it ain't going to hit.
Agreed.
Especially the Browns. Deshaun Watson, shocking news today. He goes down looking like just a god-awful contract. I guess we're getting P.J. Walker in this game.
DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
I got the Steam Fitters local union shirt on here. Shout out to all the Steam Fitters watching the show here. Not a paid sponsorship. Just wanted to say a shout out quickly. My friends in Pittsburgh, I don't think are going to like my pick, Big Brain. I don't think they're going to like my pick.
Uh-oh.
My reputation is on the line. 4-1-1 last week against the spread. Also smashed my beat the book play of the week. I'm hot. I look at this game. Everyone says Steelers, Mike Tomlin, Kenny Pickett. In my opinion, Kenny Pickett kind of stinks. He's a bit of a winner because he comes back in the fourth quarter. Mike Tomlin, bit of an overrated head coach. Actually, not even a bit. Very overrated head coach. I'm rooting for the Steelers. I hope they pull it out. I like Cleveland in a narrow one. Give me Cleveland -3. And it hurts me to say that. I'm sorry, -1. Sorry, folks.
Where are you getting your lines? We're getting our lines here at the Road Show from DraftKings, and the Steelers were at -3, +3.5 actually. And then after the news of Deshaun Watson, they jumped to +1. So you are going against your team, your hometown team, and taking the fucking Browns.
This is just one of those games, Big Brain, where I think that I think the Browns rally around this moment. I mean, they have not looked bad with P.J. Walker. They really haven't looked that terrible. I just don't trust the Steelers offense. Steelers already beat them once this year. Browns know they got to get a win. I see the Steelers probably winning against the Bengals next week, which is hilarious to say, but this division's tight. It's tough. I think they split games here. I'm hoping the Steelers win. This is kind of a win-win for me, but I'm going to take Cleveland -1 here.
Guy, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Who do you believe is starting in this game for the Cleveland Browns?
P.J. Walker.
He is not. It is Dorian Thompson-Robinson from UCLA. Rookie.
He's thinking
It's tough to judge him. He's been actually quite terrible in the regular season games he's played. Some a bit in the preseason, but as you saw the Steelers in the preseason, also looked a lot different. I just, You know what? Give me the Steelers +1. Give me the Steelers +1 against Dorian Thompson-Robinson. That
The switch. The
loser,
switch.
idiot. Give me the Steelers +1. Fooled everyone. Give me the Steelers all day long. Kenny Pickett, 500 yards. Steelers +1.
Mark it down. Guys on Steelers +1.
Peer pressure gets to him.
Man in
All
the
right.
suit pick. Man in the suit pick.
All right. Mr. Prop, what do you got for this game?
I highly disagree with Guy's opening statement here. The public would say never take the over in the Steelers-Browns game.
Oh.
I'm not the public here.
Oh.
I love over 33.5.
Ooh.
Both these teams, great running game from the Browns, sneaky good run game from the Steelers. Now they've figured out Jalen Warren is much better than that bum Najee Harris who played in the SEC. Not real football.
Fair.
Also, when they drop back to pass, who do you have coming off the edge for each team? You got Myles Garrett, you got TJ Watt. That means turnovers, strip sacks, short fields. Most likely, at least one defensive touchdown in this game. Last time these two teams played, they combined for 48 points. I get it. It's DTR, but they're going to feed Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt. They're going to move the ball. 33.5 is too low.
Damn.
Big brain.
Like I said, that is maybe the lowest total I have ever seen in an NFL game. I don't quote me on that stat. I didn't look it up. I didn't care to look it up. But that is maybe one of the lowest numbers I've ever seen.
This is a bet you won't be out of until there is 0 seconds left on the clock.
Agreed. You were always in this game. So, I take what you both said. I don't really take what Guy said at all because he thought PJ Walker was starting the entire time.
That's
so
on
I'm
me.
more so. I'm more
me.
so. Hey, that's why I'm here. So I'm more so taking what Mr. Prop said, and he mentioned two guys, TJ Watt and Myles Garrett. Let me just tell you these stats that I pulled up. TJ Watt against the Browns, 42 tackles, 16 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 interception. Myles Garrett, 24 tackles, 7 sacks. That's it. That tells me one thing. TJ Watt and Myles Garrett aren't in the same conversation.
How many assault charges has Myles Garrett gotten against the Steelers?
At least one. Adam Schefter confirmed at least one assault charge. And we talk about Kenny Pickett. We talk about he kind of stinks, and I definitely think he kind of stinks. But then the fourth quarter shows up, and it's like, oh my God, he's a senior at Pitt again. He's 2-0 against the Browns in last year. Now, granted, I think one of the games was before Deshaun Watson came back, so you don't really know. But Deshaun Watson hasn't looked good for the Browns either. So, and the other thing I have to say to confirm my analysis on this game is DTR and UCLA lost to Pitt. Pitt sucks. Steelers +1 all day long. Steelers are going to beat the shit out of them. Las Vegas Raiders +13.5 traveling cross country to South Beach, Miami. The over-under is set at 46.5. Mr. Prop, take it away.
Personally, this might be the favorite bet I've seen all year. As soon as I saw this game, you could have told me any number, and I'd be laying the Dolphins. 13.5 points. You're not even giving me 2 touchdowns against the Raiders. A West Coast team, as Big Brain said, traveling to the East Coast. I get it. They won 2 games. They had that magic with interim head coach Antonio Pierce. That's gone. They've hit their bump. This is their peak. They've won their Super Bowl. It goes downhill from here. That defense trying to stop Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, not going to happen. Dolphins also getting Jalen Ramsey back and Devon A-Chain. This team's scary. They've been called frauds by most people, and they're out to prove we're not frauds. They're going to beat up on a bad team. I'd even take an alternate line of -19.5. They're going to kill them.
You know what? I'm trying to find something to where I disagree with you. And I thought the way you started, I thought you were going to go and take the Raiders. To me, I don't give a shit if Antonio Pierce comes out in black Air Force Ones. It doesn't matter. The Dolphins are going to wax the Raiders. Now, Big Brain Benny here, I don't love 13.5. Just because the Raiders, Antonio Pierce has some type of fire. He knows what the line is. I think he's out there. It's Vegas. Mark Davis is up his ass. He's gonna want to try to cover. So at any point in this game, he's gonna try to cover. But at the same time, I have the other part of my brain saying Aiden O'Connell, Aiden O'Connell, Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell stinks. But the Dolphins' defense is kind of Swiss cheese. Now, like you said, though, Jalen Ramsey coming back makes a difference. But I look at this total over under 46.5, and I look at the Dolphins, and all I see is points. All I see when I see the Dolphins is I want to bet the over. And you know what? I'm just going to sit back, have fun, bet the over, and watch Tyreek, A-Chain, and Jalen Waddle maybe put up 48 themselves. I'm just betting the over and having fun this game.
I like it. I like it.
Mr. Prop, you couldn't have said it better yourself. Seriously. What also we haven't mentioned here is the Dolphins are coming off a bye week. Coming off the bye week, getting all these guys back. It's in South Florida. Antonio Pierce, I've seen this story 1,000 times with interim coaches. They catch a little lightning in the bottle off the jump. The big boogeyman's out, Josh McDaniel. Mission's complete, back to New England. Give me the Dolphins minus 13.5 here. I think it gets ugly, and I think it gets ugly early.
Laying the number.
The Dolphins can score points. Everybody for weeks. I even said it last week. I think the Ravens are the best team in the FC. And it's mainly just because I forgot the Dolphins existed off the bye week. The Dolphins' offense is ridiculous. Now, to Big Brain's point, defense is a little bit of Swiss cheese. Doesn't matter, though, when you score 48 points in the NFL. They've looked good all year. I really like the coach. I think his scheme is not really revolutionary, but it's just something we haven't really seen succeed a ton with a young-minded coach. Good offense. Tua gets a week off. Tyreek Hill is just a monster. Their wide receiving core is ridiculous. A-Chain coming back. It's tough to see the Raiders scoring more than 13 points. Aiden O'Connell is terrible. They barely beat the Jets last week. I mean, it's just a bad matchup for Vegas coming across the country. Dolphins off the bye week gives me a lot more confidence in this 13.5. I'm sure the public is going to love getting 13.5 points in the NFL, but it's all Miami here, and it's.
I got a number for you, guy.
Sure.
I did a little research into this because this bet was so obvious to me right off the bat. 93% of bets on the Dolphins. 93.
That's shocking.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's a big number. That's a big number.
That's a lot of public action.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of public action, but I'm comfortable with taking 13.5 still. Sometimes the public is right.
Public has to be right sometimes.
Yep. It's a big number, but
yeah, we like I said, we have a slim slate of pickings, and these two teams are maybe the most down I've ever seen two teams. We have the New York Jets +7 traveling to Buffalo, just right up the state. Over under is 39. I'll take this one away to start. This is a mid-off, as you see the meme I have. Josh Allen, people can call him a gunslinger all they want. Josh Allen stinks. Josh Allen just throws the ball thinking he can put it in any goddamn place he wants. And Zach Wilson's the same exact way, but Zach Wilson's a scared little Utah boy. So it's a lot different. Josh Allen's out there. He's just slinging the ball. Doesn't matter. Zach Wilson's scared to throw the ball, so it makes him exactly the same. This game, Sean McDermott lost the locker room. Stephon Diggs is out here posting cryptic Instagram stories. Josh Allen's looking disgruntled in the post-game interviews. Robert Salah has lost the interview since Aaron Rodgers went down. These two teams, like I said, they have never been more down in the NFL than I've seen in a long time. And this game points nothing more to me than the Buffalo Bills going at home, getting embarrassed against Mr. Unlimited and just beating the piss out of the New York Jets. Give me Buffalo on a touchdown, -7 all day long. Zach Wilson stinks. Bills -7.
I can't disagree with your logic. Both these teams are down so bad, so bad. And that's why I'm going to take it a slightly different route. I don't think these teams could beat anyone by 7 points. So I'm not touching the spread. I'm taking the under 39.
Ooh.
Jets defense, we know is legit.
Agreed.
Especially in the secondary. You ever hear of a guy named Sauce Gardner?
Hey,
Pretty good.
Ever hear of a guy named Jordan Whitehead?
I didn't. Does somebody on here know him?
You know what? I think actually, you know what? I did go to high school with him. Holy shit.
All right, so we got the insider reporting here. Jordan Whitehead out for blood against the Bills this week. So I'm going the under 39. Defense is legit. Bills offense not gonna be able to run the ball. I'm worried about their passing game. I'm seeing a lot of 3-and-outs. You got the turnovers. Jets, on the other hand, can run the ball. They don't trust Zach Wilson to throw it. I'm seeing a lot of runs, run, just chewing up the clock. And as soon as they get down past midfield, you might get a throw in here from there from Zach Wilson. That leads to a turnover, red zone, taking points off the board. I don't see these teams hitting 39. No way.
I'm taking even different logic on that. I'm taking the over 39. I think there's.
We got 3 different bets on this game. First time all show. How about
I think
that?
there's some urgency for the Bills offense to show some life. It's tough watching the Bills. They're sitting there at 5-5, and they're supposed to be this juggernaut team. They're still in the race here for the AFC East. It's ugly, but I know who this Bills team is. We've seen him the past couple of years. Josh Allen can sling the rock. He has been susceptible to a turnover here and there. But I think this is more of a get-right game here. And the way I see this going over, I see the Jets kicking 3 field goals and the Bills scoring a lot of points. The Bills do not run the football. They don't run the football. They're going to air it out, and there's going to be some mistakes. And I think Stephon Diggs gets loose. He always gets loose. Josh Allen, he's always a threat with his legs inside the red zone. And I think Zach Wilson's good for a touchdown here, also good for an interception, but I also think you might get a pick 6 out of him as well. So I'm going to take the over 39. It's ugly, but I could see this game going over, and I could also see this game going under. But I just think the urgency here for the Bills is too much. They're going to put up some points, and Greenberg's going to lose his mind on ESPN Get Up on Monday saying about how terrible the Jets are and the Bills embarrass them once again.
You know, I don't see a world where the Jets cover the spread. So in every world that I live in, I win every single time. So the Bills are definitely covering -7 on Sunday.
I also got a little something, Mr. Prop here. This is
Ooh, special prop
here. Khalil Shakeer, wide receiver 3 for the Bills, under 32.5 receiving yards. This guy stinks. I got 2 reasons for this. First one's real. You touched on earlier, Stephon Diggs, pissed. He wants out of there. His brother Trayvon saying, get 14 out of there. What happens every time some D receiver complains?
Mm-hmm.
He gets 35 targets this game. They are going to force feed him the ball left and right. The second reason is more personal. I needed 7 points out of Khalil Shakeer last week for fantasy football, and he didn't get it for me. In the toilet, under 32.5. This guy doesn't get the ball ever. They didn't look.
Personal prop.
You know what? I like the personal aspect in it. I like everything that you said. I like Stephon Diggs is pissed, and like you said, he's going to get absolutely hummed the ball. So what's his name? Malik Shakeer?
Khalil.
Khalil Shakeer under 32.5 receiving yards. That's your special prop of the day, brought to you by Mr. Prop. All right. Sunday Night Football, and it turned out to be an actually great game with two teams coming off of big wins. We have the Pastronaut, Josh Dobbs, and the Minnesota Vikings plus 2.5 traveling to Mr. Unlimited and the Denver Broncos over under set at 42.5.
I can't tell if this is a good shitty game or a shitty good game.
Mm-hmm.
These teams baffle me a little bit. But I think I'm seeing this clearly. I sat back, I reflected, I did some meditation. I went to Subway. I had a dangerous sandwich.
Was it dangerously unlimited?
Let's ride Broncos country. Denver. I see it. After watching their game last week, I'm putting them in the sneaky not bad category. Everybody wrote them off after giving up 70 points. I don't know how you even do that to an NFL team. It could have been 100 too if the Dolphins didn't call off the Dogs. Since then, their defense has been picking up. One of my personal heroes, Sean Payton, him and Russ are finally starting to click. They're getting that offense going just enough, finding Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. Javonte Williams seems to have caught a little spark here. Maybe he's finally getting healthy after that torn ACL.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've seen this before this season. Josh Dobbs started off with Arizona pretty good. People said, oh, Cardinals might be frisky. They beat the Cowboys. They were hanging in there. They had a bad second half against the Giants. Otherwise, they would have been 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
And then shit hits the fan and they go downhill. I think that happens this week. I think the Dobbs magic runs out. I think Broncos cover 2.5.
I see this game over 42.5. I think it goes over here. Josh Dobbs. I've been saying that the same logic you've had, Mr. Prop, for the last 10 weeks. When is Josh Dobbs going to fall off? Watching him last week destroy your Saints. I mean,
Hurt me.
He looks sharp. He looks sharp. They're simpling down this offense. I think they have a little bit of lightning here. Denver also looks good. I'm also going to take Denver minus 2.5, but I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. And by a lot of points, I'm talking to Denver, Minnesota, a lot of points. I mean, I see this game 24-27, something like that. And I think Denver pulls this out. It's at home. Denver impressed me a little bit last week. They showed some grit. They do have weapons there. Russell Wilson, he's hit or miss, but he's been kind of hit or miss his entire career. I think him and Sean Payton have finally found something there. I think it's a little bit too late for Denver to get back in the race. They're kind of playing here just for something to prove. They're at home. I like the minus 2.5, and I like the over here. I think Josh Dobbs hits Hawkinson for a touchdown or two. He's going to stay in the game. He might take off 40-yard run, something like that. 42.5 is achievable. I'll take the over in Denver minus 2.5.
Little twofer.
Boys. This isn't good because what I have on my notes for this game is Dobbs comes back to life, Denver minus 2.5. Now, if you're tracking the show, what happened last week whenever we wrote a line, Ravens minus 6.5, what happened? That was an epic failure. Mr. Prop, I know you felt that too. I know you bet that on the side. I know you had your own play on that. That was a brutal miscover by the Ravens, and just so happens that Guy and I were on the same line there. This is I'm thinking about this a little too much here. I mean, it's Russ looked good last week.
Mm-hmm.
He looked good.
But, like, so did Josh Dobbs. But, like you said, Mr. Prop, Josh Dobbs looked good that first 2.5, week and a half, 3 weeks, whatever it was for the Cardinals. And then what happened since then? They've stunk.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say, I'll start off with this pick because I got a 2-for-1 pick in this game as well. I'm riding the under 42.5. Whether we look at it or not, Josh Dobbs is going to come back to life in this game. This under's hitting, and guess what? This is on, say that again, prime time. Prime time unders have been hitting at a ridiculous clip this year.
Very true.
Ridiculous. I'm just principal betting the prime time under 42.5 because of it's in prime time. That's the only reason I'm betting it. It's prime time. Just betting the under for the system play. Now, for the decision on what side to go, I did have, and you can check out a previous video on mine. I did review the Russell Wilson sandwich on Subway sandwich. You can go peep that. You know what? I'm riding the Quake. I'm riding the 3-for-1 pick in this play. I'm riding the Denver Broncos -2.5 with the boys, Mr. Prop, Guy, and Big Brain Benny, all on the Denver Broncos -2.5. Broncos
Let him
country.
cook.
Let's ride.
cook.
Welcome to the club. You know, some of the viewers might not know this. Big Brain, I know you're well aware. It's statistically proven when Guy and I are on the same play, we've never been wrong, ever. It just
That
doesn't
is
happen.
true.
The moment we've all been waiting for, the reason why he's on this week. We have the prop of the week brought to you by Mr. Prop himself. Take it away.
Thank you, guys. First, we'll start off with a little sprinkler. One I didn't mention earlier because I got too excited talking about how much Kenny Pickett stinks. I do love a prop in that game, and it's Najee Harris over 8.5 receiving yards. He's had a catch in 6 straight games.
Huh.
In 4 of those games, the last 4, he's had 2 or more. With this Cleveland's defense, that pass rush, Myles Garrett coming down on Kenny Pickett, he's going to have to check it down at least a couple times. You're telling me Najee's not going to get 8 yards on 2-3 catches? It's happening. Lock it in.
Najee Harris over 8.5 receiving yards. I kind of like that because all it's going to take is him to just be in for one screen or one little swing pass, and he can get that very easily.
That's my exact logic. It's hitting. Lock it in. A little free money for you guys. Now, big one, the prop of the week. I've been in the lab, been doing some research. I've been a big touchdown scorer parlay guy this year. Guy and Big Brain have seen it. So far this year, I've hit 3 out of 10, all at plus 1,000 or better. That means I'm plus money on the season, big time. So we got a little special one for the boys here. Tell me who loses this parlay. We got J.Gibbs against the Bears. We all know Bears defense sucks. Dan Campbell finally realized J.Gibbs. They drafted him. They've been using him all the time these last 3 weeks. He's getting in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Tyreek Hill versus the Raiders. We talked about this. Raiders stink. Dolphins will put up 50. Tyreek's getting in the end zone. Number 3, Aaron Jones versus the Chargers. Chargers defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. J.Gibbs just last week torched them. David Montgomery torched them. I think they combined for almost 250 rushing yards between the two of them. Jordan Love stinks. They're going to run the ball. Aaron Jones get in the end zone. My final one, to ride into Monday night, you're going to have 3 in the bank, just waiting for one. A.J.Brown versus the Chiefs. We haven't touched that game. I think it's going to be a high scoring, maybe game of the year. A.J. Brown's been on fire. Jalen Hurts loves him. He hates Devontae Smith now. Give me A.J. Brown score a touchdown. So J.Gibbs, A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Aaron Jones, plus 1,000. Book it.
How could it lose? How could that lose? I don't see a path.
I'm looking at the 4 guys that you named right there, and I don't see one guy that shouldn't get it in the end zone. Like you said, that's the difference between Dan Campbell and Arthur Smith. Dan Campbell realized that he is an absolute weapon in J.Gibbs and uses him. Arthur Smith continues to deny the fact that Bijan Robinson is a difference maker. And like you said, Tyreek Hill off the bye, he's definitely getting in the end zone. A.J. Brown off the bye, he's gone in the end zone every fucking week this year. And then Aaron Jones, the Chargers are the goddamn Chargers, and thankfully they fucking pushed last week. But Aaron Jones, like you said, Najee and Gibbs and Montgomery both got in the end zone last week. So that's just I would even maybe sprinkle an A.J. Dillon anytime touchdown scorer in that game.
If you're really strapped for cash, you got to pay the mortgage this week. Throw in A.J. Dillon. I don't hate it.
I love it. But right now we're locking in guaranteed prop of the week. Sprinkle Najee Harris over 8.5 receiving yards and the TD parlay. Jahmyr Gibbs, Tyreek Hill, Aaron Jones, A.J.Brown plus 1,000. Lock it the fuck in. All right. The moment we've been waiting for. The 2-0 show. Beat the book play of the day. Who wants to start, guy? Me or you?
I'll start here. Big Brain. I loved the Texans last week as recorded. Texans +6. Didn't even need it. Also mentioned, throw a little bit on the money line. Texans won outright. Texans are good. No denying that. I think everybody now has seen what I've been seeing for weeks. I was a Stroud guy when he was at Ohio State. I'm a Stroud man now. Texans are -5 against the Arizona Cardinals with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray didn't look terrible last week. But my beat the book is not on the Texans this week. It's not on the Texans. It's on something very ugly. And this was just brought up a little bit in Mr. Props prop of the week. Chargers defense can't stop anyone. I mean, seriously, they're playing the Packers, who we watched them play our Steelers last week. Jordan Love didn't look terrible. Run game looked pretty good. They were hitting the ball down the field, especially just crushing that tight end. Musgrave, I believe his name was. Couldn't cover him to save our lives. That's besides the point. Chargers lost one last week, scored a lot of points. Lions, very good contender out of the NFC. Chargers need one here. Chargers need one on the road in Lambeau. Give me the Chargers -3, lock of the week. Brandon Staley stinks, but they scored a lot of points. I just think Jordan Love, he's kind of like Kenny Pickett in a sense where I'm dumbfounded at some of the things he does. But I just like Justin Herbert in this spot. Chargers need a must win here. Give me Chargers -3. I don't like the pick. I love it.
I can't believe you're taking the Chargers after I took them last week.
The Brandon Staley racist.
That is fucking insane, but I have to respect it. I have to respect it. You're 1-0 on beating the book, so I gotta respect it. Mr. Prop, let's kick it to you. What do you got? The beat the book play of the day. You're guaranteed beating the fucking shit out of the book. Win you some cash. You bet 5 units on this motherfucker right here.
This one, I had to search deep. I watched your guys' show last week. By the way, congrats. Knocked out of the park. And 2-0 is 2-0.
Appreciate it.
Now the pressure's on. The people are expecting this to win. Like, they're putting their livelihood.
They are. Their mortgage.
Vegas. They might even parlay the 3 of our picks here. So that's a lot of pressure here.
Ooh, I'm parlaying all.
Throwing ideas out there. It could happen. That being said, I was worried Guy here was going to take my beat Vegas pick when he hinted at one of my prop of the week. But I am dipping back into that well. We talked about it slightly with Detroit versus Chicago and Jahmyr Gibbs scoring. I think he might score 3 times. David Montgomery might score 2. Revenge game for David Montgomery. And we saw last week, Detroit's defense, very suspect. Very suspect. Bears offense, finally getting rid of, shout out PSAC, Tyson Bagent, Justin Fields. They get a real player back in at quarterback. I'm taking over 48. I just see points. Both these offenses can move the ball. Both can also be prone for turnovers, which means more points. I don't see the defense stopping anybody. Over 48. Beat Vegas.
You know what? I love that pick. I love the thing about me, if I'm gonna bet an over this year in the NFL, I look at the Dolphins and the Lions and I say, who are they playing? Because those two teams put up points. And I want points. And now, like you said, fuck the PSAC. But Chicago's getting Justin Fields back. They're gonna open up the playbook. Khalil Herbert might be back this week, which is good for the Bears, so they'll be able to open up the run game. I like that pick a lot. I think Detroit can even beat the piss out of them and put up 35 themselves. Then all you need is Detroit to put up a couple touchdowns or Chicago to put up a couple touchdowns, and that's doable. That's doable. I like it. Guy, what do you got? What do you got on the play?
I really like that play. I like his logic. I looked at this game. I really didn't glance at it too much. I'm definitely laying over 48 on that game. I see the Lions beating the piss out of the Bears, but just like you said, Lions put up 35. I mean, I think Justin Fields comes back, slings the rock a little bit, gets it in the end zone, might make things a little interesting, but the Lions are good. And it's tough to see the Lions as a good team because just growing up, they're so bad. They're so bad. So bad. And, little preview for next week. I've been taking the Lions for years on Thanksgiving. Have to. Always an ugly game. Never any points. A lot of points this year. And I've been betting the Lions a lot this year. I think they're good. Chicago, Justin Fields is such a wild card factor. No one really plays like him in the league. He looks suspect at times, but he also looks very good at times. I think if you put Justin Fields on a team like the Chargers or the Eagles or some team that really just uses the shit out of a versatile quarterback, it's a whole different ballgame talking Justin Fields. I think he's playing to get into that position. But I think Detroit smokes them, and I think Chicago does score a little bit here.
I like it. I like the confidence on both our picks. I like I do like the Chargers -3. I think the Packers are a sorry team this year. I think the Chargers are actually legit, and I think like I said, these two offenses are gonna kind of show out, at least definitely Detroit's. Now, like Mr. Prop was alluding to, and then I thought he was going to take my pick when he talked about Guy talking about the pick. 1-0 last week feels great. Feels really good to be 1-0. Let me just make sure. Guarantee. What did I bet? Oh, the Gunder. Easily. There's no international game this week, unfortunately, so I can't just guarantee bet that. But Guy talked about the Houston Texans, and they look good. They're playing against the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray coming back. Marquise Hollywood Brown. Rondell Moore. Terry McBride. James Conner coming back. I think Kyler Murray is playing for his future, not only with the Arizona Cardinals, but in the NFL.
Do it.
I think
Arizona, like where this is going.
I am a plus sign hunter. But I will not, for the sake of the parlay and the sake of the people, I'm locking in my beat the book play of the day as the Arizona Cardinals +5 traveling to the Houston Texans. But I can guarantee this, everybody, all the folks watching at home, I'm laying the wood on Arizona money line as well. So, but for the parlay for the show, it's definitely Arizona +5. But as a side note, I'm definitely riding the money line. Because I can definitely Kyler Murray, he's playing for his future in the NFL, and I think that he first game back last week, they got the dub in the end. He looked pretty decent. He's going to come back, full week of practice back. He's feeling good on the off the win. Let's fucking go. I think they pull it out.
That pained me. I got to say, that's an ugly pick.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you, and ugly gets it done when we're talking about beating Vegas.
It's ugly.
One of two things are going to happen. I respect you doing the +5, give the people a little bit of wiggle room. I don't see any way where the Cardinals lose by 5 or less points. I think they win outright by a field goal, maybe 5-6 points, or they get smoked. So I like the pick because of that. I like all your arguments. That they look better with Kyler. He's just going to get healthier and healthier. Don't be surprised if they win this game outright.
That was almost my beat the book play as well. But it was so tough for me to go against my own Texans. But I do like everything you said about Kyler Murray playing for his future. I think that football coach out there, he's done a hell of a job on a team that has a historically terrible roster.
Great.
Terrible roster.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, that's an ugly pick, but that's a pick that's really good when I think about it. Really good pick.
Sometimes you need to get real ugly to win a lot of cash.
That's a put your nuts on the table pick. You're risking not only your bankroll, but also your mental sanity. Because if you're betting the Cardinals to win a game and they get blown out, you go to bed saying, "How the hell did I just bet?"
Did I really just bet on the Arizona Cardinals?
That's one that hurts you in more ways than one.
All right, folks, let's check what the 3-team parlay. We got the Arizona Cardinals +5, the Chargers -3, and the over 48 in Chicago, Detroit. We got a 3-pick parlay +567. So if you put $20 on that, you'd win $133. So
you're
I'm definitely
way more than $20 on that, folks.
I'm just giving you the
Gamble
standard.
responsibly.
Everyone always gamble responsibly. Bet within your limits. Don't ever go over. But that's what we got. I'll try to run through what we got for the picks. We got the Steelers Browns. We got Guy and Big Brain Benny, myself on the Steelers +1, and Mr. Prop on the over 33. We have in Vegas, Miami, we have Mr. Prop and Guy both riding Miami